My phone's dying, but I found a charging thing here. So I just finished my smoothie from Booster Juice in the mall, and I was going to sit there, but then I saw that the seat area was taped off, and they've removed the tables. And so I found this little spot here because I couldn't find anywhere in the cafes with a plug. So, what am I going to do? I guess I just feel like going inside yet, but I'll walk home soon. So what I did was I came to the bank here, and I had to get there by 4 o'clock. I left at 3:47, and I ran. And I looked at my phone when I got there, and it was like 4:01. I was like, So I opened the door, and it was open. And I'm like, I need to deposit a U.S. check. They're like, So they let me. And the fact that I got to the bank in 14 minutes, like I'm a superhero. Okay, I couldn't remember what I posted today, and I saw I posted in my story about the bird, so that's good. So basically what happened today, well, here, I'll tell you what's going on right now. I am putting my mattress right outside here. It smells a bit like gasoline, and there's paint and tires in here, so maybe this isn't the healthiest thing to be doing, but I don't want to risk waking up with the heat again. Um, and my dad just said, he knocked on the door. I didn't know if you were in here. How's it going? And I'm like, I don't know, is the car in the garage? He's like, yeah. And then he's like, well, I leave the thermostat, it goes to 18 at night. I'm like, yeah, well, I'm not even going to argue about it. I just need to, you just got to do what you can and control what you can do. So I'm a bit hungry because I haven't had dinner yet. So I might see if I should have a bowl of cereal or something, but I don't want to eat a lot because then I get the indigestion at night if I eat before I go to sleep. Okay, I don't know how it's this late again. What did I do? I went up to have a snack. I don't even remember when I talked to you. Did I talk to you after the speed dating? I don't know. I showed you that. Okay, where am I? What's going on? Okay, so today, I told you I went to the bank, right? And I ran there, and I got there in 14 minutes. I must have told you this. Refresh me if I haven't. So I'm glad that in 14 minutes I was able to run to the bank. And then, okay, so then I went over to the mall and got a smoothie. And then, oh yeah, it was closed. The tables are all closed. So then I walked over to the Byward Market and sat there with my pigeon. And then I walked around for a couple hours. And then I was like, I got to get back for a speed dating at 7:30. Oh, and by the way, so while I'm sitting there with the pigeon, I overheard a girl and a guy talking. So this was like a girl, I think she said she was doing her master's, and the guy, it was a white girl and an Asian guy, and he was clearly gay. So like he's her gay friend. And so that's the dynamic. And then she was saying, my boyfriend's going to move to Paris, and I don't have anybody to talk to in the city, and I'm just, so lonely, and I go for runs and stuff. Anyways, and it just made me think, yeah, I mean, I'm lonely too in the city. Maybe I should, and I was thought maybe I should talk to them and be like, hey, you want to be friends or whatever, but you can't, even in the best of times, you can't come up to strangers. But in pandemic times, nobody wants you running up like, But I was thinking also, maybe I should start a Facebook group for like Ottawa friendships, and then people can be friends. And then I was walking around for a while, and then I'm like, I gotta get back for the speed dating, because I told them I would do the 7:30 p.m. speed dating event, and it was like 7:20. I'm like, I don't have time to run back, even though like I knew I could almost run back, but I'm like, no, it's going to be cutting it too fine. Although now, in retrospect, I should have run, because I called an Uber, and the Uber came, and we were going to zip down the street, but then there was the police and fire trucks blocking off Elgin Street. I'm like, oh, God, no. So then we went driving around, going down highways, and it was crazy. And then, so we're almost at the house, and I'm like, so I decided to chat with him. I'm like, so how long you been in Ottawa? He's like, I've been here a year, but I was in Montreal before. And, I said, yeah, it was nice, right? He's like, yeah, but I don't have any friends. And I'm like, well, I was thinking of starting a Facebook group of friends. He's like, oh, that's great. And so he's from, where did he say? Somewhere in Africa. I think it started with an M. Anyways, he's going to join my Facebook group for friends. Oh, and when I was walking around downtown before that, this woman was trying to calm down her dog, and she's like, stop, sit. And the dog was like sort of coming towards me, a nice, friendly, fluffy dog, and I realized, afterwards I should have petted the dog. That would be my chance, because then you can talk to people when you pet their dogs and stuff. everybody I see, I'm like, maybe that could be my friend. And then if I don't see them again, I'm like, I regret. I feel like that was my chance. I could have been with friends with them. Anyways, I got home and I ran down and did the speed dating for a couple of hours and it was fine. It turned out to be an Ottawa event. I thought it was going to be like a Toronto event, or they were merging them or something, but it was all Ottawa, and so that was okay. They were all curious about my green screen, and then that was it. And then I guess I showed you the garage, and then I just went upstairs and pigged out. Not a lot of food. We're out of bread and everything, so I was looking for what I could. I had a couple of muffins and some cookies, and ugh, just gross. So here's the thing. I need to lose weight. I want to be top health. Because I remember in my early 20s, after I left university, I got fat because there was no gym and whatever. I remember I see pictures of my girlfriend Jan with me, and I'm like, oh my God, how fat was that? Ugh. It's finally when I was 27, they opened a new gym beside my work, Saatchi and Saatchi, and I had to walk past it to get to the subway, so I just started going hard on the Stairmaster. I lost all this weight, and people didn't even recognize me, and it was fantastic. And then I eventually got fat again, up and down. But now I regret, I'm like, in my early 20s, why didn't I, get into top shape? Because then I could have enjoyed my youth looking really good. Why waste those precious years where you can get into really good shape, relatively easy? And it could have been the hot 20-year-old and maybe dancing around Europe. It could have been awesome. So partially now, I've been thinking, well, I'm old now, who cares, doesn't even matter. But it kind of matters, because what if in 10 or 20 years, I'm like, why didn't I be in the best shape at that point? And also, I'm on social media, so I should look at least as good as I can. Also, I was talking to some women from Facebook or dating things, and they were like, "Oh, you look 36. How can you really be, the age that I really am?" I'm like, I don't know. I wonder. But if I already look younger, then why not look? Take advantage of be as good, healthy and anyways. Because also, I've been posting my little videos, or the one video in those different Facebook groups for different countries I was telling you. Oh my God, it continues. It's just, I'm like rock star, thousands and thousands of likes and messages and comments. And it's like, why didn't I think of this? I guess maybe this kind of technology didn't exist, but I feel like Facebook's been around. Why didn't I think of this? So I really need to capitalize on this, the ability of Facebook communities to grow and stuff. I feel like I've done a lot of research. I've got years of knowledge now. And didn't I say I was going to, today was supposed to be the day I launched everything, right? Well, that didn't happen yet, but tomorrow's the day. I swear to God, tomorrow's the day. Big things are going to happen. Facebook community, I feel like I've got the power of, the whole world right in my hand. This woman in, or an Asian country, in the Philippines today, was showing me, she was giving me a little tour of this farm. She was visiting her neighbor, and they have fighting cocks, like actual roosters. I was like, what are all those roosters? I could hear in the background. And then she's like, oh, I'm visiting my friend. These are fighting cocks. I'm like, is that even legal? Is that a thing that we should have? But I was getting a tour of this, this is where she lives, in this sort of rough brick house and just all tropical and trees. And I'm like, what if I make friends with all these? And what if I just travel around having these adventures and I take you with me? On my phone, I'm like, hey, now I'm in the Philippines, or now I'm... Because years ago, 15 years ago, I was asked to come to Africa for a month by some wildlife Facebook page who said, we want you to come and broadcast and do your funny videos and talk about the wild. And I didn't go because I was like, I don't know, it's far and I'll be lonely for the month. It's like, no, 1 month. I mean, how many months have I wasted, right? Just wasted a whole year doing nothing, and I could have just spent a month. Ugh. And they're still broadcasting. I see their live broadcast, so maybe I can ask them again. I can be like, can I come as the old guy? I don't look that different than I did 15 years ago anyways. I don't know what that says about how I looked 15 years ago. Or maybe I did look younger. I don't know. I was fat for it. You can't tell. If you get fat and you look like crap, and then you get older but you lose weight, you're like, well, would I have looked better when I was younger if I had lost weight? Anyways, why am I still up? Anyways, I gotta go sleep in the garage. Oh, wait, I gotta show your answers. Remember what I asked yesterday. What did I say? How are you gonna take advantage of the warming weather? Ritaville says hikes outside of the city. Oh, love hikes. Take me with you, please, God. I gotta charge my phone because my battery's dying. So what does Drop say? Go for a hike walk, take some pics, visit some friends, outside. Or in the US, you'd say outside, but in Canada we say outside. That's what I say. I have to change it when I'm doing US voice work. He says, there's a lights festival exhibit here in Toronto during the night. I'm going with my sister. A lights festival? That sounds new, because that's not Nuit Blanche, and that's not Luminato. Maybe it is Luminato? Is that what she's talking about? I gotta go back to Toronto. What am I Going Boldly says, living in Florida, I never have to worry about it being too cold to do things. It's so true. Years ago, I realized I was watching. Oh, it's a whole story, but I went to Miami to visit people because I was like, "You guys are having to do more of this." Okay, so what was this? Is this like from my muffin or something? Anyways, um, yeah, like I saw these girls in Miami that I knew, and they were posting about all these things to do in February. I'm like, "You guys," and I just flew down. I'm like, "I want to be part of this life." Oh, and we've got more from Going Boldly. Ironically, as it gets warmer here, I'll stay inside more, but not until August. It's too warm. Oh my gosh, I have a bit of sweat on my brow. I better hide in my air-conditioned mansion. I'll tell you a secret. When I overheard that conversation with that girl and the guy, I was like, you know what? I'll draw up little business cards and give it to them. I can tell the guy here I can dog sit for your new dog, and I can tell the girl, hey, you could be on my podcast talking about loneliness. But then they sort of walked in. I was like, oh, maybe I could follow them. But then I'm like, I can't. What am I gonna like chase them? And now, by the way, like the only window would have been if right away if I'd been like, oh, I couldn't help but overhear that you're lonely. I don't know. There's no way. I just wish I could have talked to them. But so here's my question of the night: have you ever talked to a stranger? Like, have you overheard something and say, hey, or hey, yeah, just gone up to somebody? Can you do that? Has anybody done that? Has it happened? What do you think?